This is William South. Welcome to Breaking Change. How y'all doing tonight? This is my co-host, Crystal Campbell.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
You too, Willie.
Yeah. And, man, there's a lot to talk about, and I just don't know where to start tonight, man, because, you know, I got mixed feelings about this time of year. You know, it's supposed to be good, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
but for in our addiction, it wasn't that good for us when we were coming up to Christmas.
Yeah. I like Crystal being my co-host because with me, I'm in a DHS case and she's in drug court. So but both our addictions left us on these roads, and I think my kids getting took from me and my life being turned all the way around with DHS, you know, I think that was the turning point in my life that, you know, I had to make that change.
Well, I know when I got drug court, it was a big change, but you got to have your mindset to want that change, because everybody has the mind. You have a choice to either be willing to be sober or to not, because some people on drug court, they're struggling to get it, but once they get the mindset of this is what I want is sobriety, then it works out real good for them. Because I hear a lot of people say that drug courts, you know, all they want is money. Well, when I got on drug court, it wasn't like that for me. I didn't start out with money, but I got my job and started paying drug court, and it's just been easier with the job, doing what you're supposed to do, go to meetings, and keep your head on straight. People, places, and things, change all of that, and hang out with good people, like you and Tracy. And once you start hanging out with positive people and people that are going to lift you up, your life is going to change. Yeah. And nothing changes overnight, Willie.
Yeah.
Nothing changes overnight.
And you know, I like what you just said about people. You know, I meet people now that I was in my addiction, and now I get to re-meet them in my recovery. And like my friends that come to Unchained, you know, that's our recovery group. I get to see them in my recovery now, and you know, it puts a tear in my eye, thinking we made it, we're here, and I'm so glad to see you. You know, and that really touches me, you know, in a lot, because I have lost a lot of people in addiction. And
yeah, we both have, and just to you know, with this small community of Fulton, it's surprising to see, you know, when we were in our addictions, yeah, we knew each other, but we didn't really hang out and, you know, do it together. Briefly, yes, but not constantly.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you move around when you're in addiction. And then you and I getting sober in the same time frame and seeing each other now, it's just amazing, because there's only 2% of meth addicts that stay sober, only 2%. And, you know, we're here being part of that 2%.
Yeah, that kind of scared me. I was in the rehab, and dude said, you know, you're sitting in a dead man's chair. Because, like you said, 2%. People make it out of here. And I look back, and, you know, haters gonna hate. And I'll be honest. I mean, you got people that still today don't think that I'm sober, that I've changed, and until they start talking to me. And let's be honest, a lot of people don't want to talk to me because they don't want to change. And, you know, I'm here to say today, man, that I changed for the better. I was made to change. But at really first, though, Crystal, you know, I didn't want to change. I thought I could fake it.
Right.
And I think we all did. But, you know, that first year, I screwed up, man, a bunch. Me and Tracy, we did everything wrong to get to the point that, you know, we had one chance left, or we was gonna lose our kids, and they was gonna go for adoption. And now, you know, I just turned a year being sober.
Congratulations,
you know, and
a year's a big step.
I could really say I've been sober for over a year now, and I can feel it. You know, I can feel. And don't get me wrong, man. It gets better. It ain't the best. You know, I'm still tired. I still have days that, you know, ain't the best. You know, and you know, we always. I think now in our early recovery, you're gonna have that self-doubt. And
yeah.
I put that self-doubt in me sometimes, and that's what I try to tell myself, don't get out of your head. Because if you stay in your head, you're going to think about all them memories.
Right.
And, you know, I just...
You know,
yeah,
I'm sorry. You know, the first year of sobriety, you have to be selfish with your recovery. Like you say, you know, it's your recovery. Nothing's going to get between you and your recovery. And you can't let it.
Yeah.
Because it's individual recovery. Once you make your mind up that you want to get sober and you want to get clean, you just do it. Like I said, you change your people, places, and things, get into a church, hang out with some good people. And it's not roses at the beginning, you know. No. It's not, because you have. I had anxiety and a little bit of depression, but that come with getting sober, because my body and my brain was always going. And then when I got sober, the only thing that kept going was my anxiety, because it was trying to catch up with my body. So now that I'm mellowed out, I took medication for a little while. Now I'm off of medication.
Thank you.
I've been sober over a year and a half. Mm-hmm. I'm healthy. You know, some people can get off of drugs and have health issues. God has blessed me with not being in that category.
I see that too. You know.
Some people are sick. And that's what they were doing, because of their sickness. They would just do more drugs to make them feel better.
Yeah.
Then when they have to totally get off drugs, their body is wore. And you are tired, and you're going to be tired for a long time. You just got to get up and do something every day and keep moving forward. And that's how you get feeling better, helping somebody else through this. And you know as well as I do, you can't be a sponsor until you're a year sober, until you've worked your 12 steps, till you've, got yourself in the right place to help somebody else.
With my recovery, they talk about a sponsor, and you got to have a man, being a man, and a woman having a woman. With me, I never had one sponsor. I don't know why I didn't depend on one person, because I think I needed a group.
Yeah.
And that's me. And other people might just count on one person, but I understand with me. People get busy and people have their own time. So the way I looked at it is, if I count on multiple people to help me, one of them ain't busy that day. And one of them can help me, talk to me, or I can talk to them, like a group. And that really helped me along, because if I counted on one person, it's just like counting on one dope man,
Right.
And when he didn't have it, I didn't have nobody else. See, and that's the same thing with my recovery. I try to count on a lot of people, and I hope they count on me, because.
Oh yeah. I know for myself, I do have a sponsor, but I've got a lot of accountability partners that I'll talk to my accountability partners just like I do my sponsor. With our group Unchained, when we come in here, I'm just as open in here as I am with my sponsor.
Yeah.
Because I got I got stuff inside me that needs to come out, and the best way to get it out is to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
When something comes up through the week, if I don't have anybody to talk to right then, I'll write it down and then bring it up during our meeting.
Yep.
But like you said, the sponsor, I can call her anytime. We both work, so if I'm going through something, I'll wait till break. I might even call Tracy or something,
Yep.
say, hey, this is what I'm going through right now. I just need you to listen, and she does. Or I need you to tell me something, you know. But most of the time, you know, if you think about your situation and then you think where God's brought you from, your situation isn't that bad.
Yeah.
But look where we came from.
Yeah.
We came from the depths of hell because we put ourselves there. And then we chose to move forward, and good Lord had His hand reaching out for us, Willie. He was still ready. He was still there. And when we thought He wasn't even near us, because that's what addiction does. It breaks you away from God. It breaks you away from family. It breaks you away from good friends, good people, good godly people. It breaks you away from your church. And you know, you're really in a mindset of, you know, I'm less than. And you're right, actually not, because God still has His hand held out to you, as He did me and as He did Willie. When we decided to get sober, we reached out for Him, and He picked us up.
And I learned, you know, it's good to talk about your problems as day-to-day basis, because if you, it's like sometimes I learned that venting. And,
Yes.
yeah, and sometimes it's good to do that, and, you know, because if I keep it in, it feels like it grows and grows and grows.
Right.
But if I have a group setting, or I just have one-on-one, I can ask, what do you think? You know,
Right.
and I learned in my recovery, I ain't got to do it by myself, just like you don't. You don't have to do this by yourself. Once you take this first step, and you admit, yes, my name is William South. I am an addict, but I am a recovering addict now, and I'm going to try to recover every day better and better, because it gets better, as I say. But you got to make that first stand. You got to make it. Can't nobody do that for you. But I promise you, after you make this first step, there's doors open every day. I say that every day. And you know what really helps me is the tools I've picked up. Because, you know, like I always say, man, a carpenter needs the right tools to build a house. A mechanic needs the right tools to fix a car. Well, a recovering addict needs the right tools to recover.
That's right. That's right. You know, like you said, making that first step, admitting that you are an addict. When I first admitted that I had a drug problem, that I was the addict, a load of bricks fell off my back. I felt like I was, you know, 98 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was 98 pounds and felt like I was 1,000 pounds. But when I admitted to myself and to another human being that I have a drug problem, that weight was lifted. I felt free at that moment. That was the best feeling I have had, and I still have that feeling now today, because I'm a recovering drug addict, and I love saying that I'm in recovery.
Yeah.
And that I'm doing better. My part of recovery right now is the best life that I could be living. It's right where I need to be.
Yeah, and you know that admitting it. When my kids got took, you know, I blamed it on everybody. But as a process, they call it a process, and I hated that word. God, I hated that word so much, man. Because that's what it felt like. It felt like a process all the time. That's what I had to do. I had schedules I had to keep. I had things I had to do. But as I was going through it, man, it kept me on a straight line. And you know, as I went down, I started picking them tools up to help me. Because let's be honest, recovery. I want to recover. I got a sickness, and they say that my sickness won't ever go away. There's no cure. I'll always be an addict. And, you know, I can live with that. But I don't have to live with, I'm going to be on dope every day.
Right.
You know, I can live that, you know, one day I just want to be William. And, you know, it's coming. And I know it is. But right now, like you said, I'm 1 year clean. I still have struggles. I still have, my mindset ain't fully clicked yet.
Right. You know, it takes 3 years for an addict's brain to heal itself. And, you know, you'd not believe I just lost my train of thought.
Well,
that's awesome. I'm not fully healed yet either. But, you know, it takes the time that it takes us with our tools that we have and working them daily, you know, setting our boundaries for people and not letting them cross them boundaries. Because, you know, at being an addict, I don't know if I can say this, but sex comes along with that. And when you don't have boundaries, everything's to go.
yeah.
You know, when you start putting up them boundaries and taking care of yourself and knowing who you are, because the first year is very critical. No, you know, excluding you and your wife, you're not supposed to be in a relationship. Because I'm not married, so I can't be.
That's what I like. I like because I am married and you are single, and this is what I like about this show. I give you 2 different points of view.
Right.
I gave you one point of being a single person on drug court and a married person that's in DHS, and you know. But the circle always goes around to what we did to get here.
Right.
We both did drugs. We both had to accept our consequences, and now we're doing something about it.
That's right.
And you know, we got to, you know, God give us this. God
Yes,
give us
He
this
did.
gift of recovery, and now we're trying to share it with y'all.
Yes.
And you know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my shepherd keeping this sheep in the pasture. You know, because I was a wanderer. I didn't care, and like you said, in my addiction, I didn't care. Man, I did it by myself. I was a person that get high by myself because I had to share. And now in my recovery, I don't want to be by myself, and I want to share everything I got. And I want to give it to you.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because in addiction, we are isolated. We isolated ourselves with our little group. And now that we're in recovery, we're doing things. We're actually going shopping. You know, Christmas is coming up and going to get Christmas gifts. And, you know, for me and my addiction, I always bought Christmas gifts, you know, but it wasn't what they wanted. It was just whatever I could afford, honestly. And or I made it. I'd make them a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
You know, but now in recovery, you have all these things given back to you, because whatever the devil stole from you, God will replace. And the devil stole a lot from me. He stole a lot of time. He stole my family from me, and I'm getting all of it back. A little by little, I'm getting it all back. And this, you know, Christmas is. December used to be a bad year for me. I'm going to talk about grief for a second. My son, Andrew, he died in 96. He was born in 94. He died in 96. God took him home. He died from an aneurysm. And in 1998, my brother was murdered December the 12th. So that sprung my addiction right there, because I didn't know how to handle death. I didn't know how to handle, you know, somebody being taken away from me. So I buried all that with my addiction, with meth, over and over and over. And you know, I didn't like coming through December. It's from September through December. It's sad for me because I've had a loss. My baby was taken in September, and Mark was taken in December. So, you know, yesterday was the 12th, or the day before, whenever it was.
Yeah. I got you.
You know, it was a sad time for me, but I dealt with my grief differently because there's 5 stages of grief. I done went through all of them, and I dealt with it differently because I know my brother is in heaven. I know that, and that gives me comfort knowing that God he's with God and he's having whatever up there. He's just as happy as he can be, more happier than me and you could ever be down here on earth. But it was a different kind of sadness this time. I miss him, yes, but I'm also glad knowing that he is in heaven. I miss his talk. I miss his walk. I just miss him being around, but he's gone 22 years. My son's been gone 24 years. So I've had to, deal with this for a very long time. But in my early addiction, I didn't know how to deal with it. I buried it with meth. And, this year, these past 2 years, I don't have the meth to bury it with. I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So the way I deal with things now is a lot different than the way I did when I was on meth, because I can deal with things now, by talking about it, by sharing, my sadness. Hey, Willie, I'm upset today because, my brother's been gone. Yeah. But you know something? I have forgiven the man that done this to my brother. And forgiveness is hard for some people. These 4 guys killed my brother. How can you forgive them? You let God come in your heart, and he grows in your heart, and you start loving people. And one day, because it wasn't them men, they were also on some kind of drug. And that drug had control over them. And as long as that drug was in them, that's what controlled them. Yeah. And I understand that now. I don't like that it happened, but it did.
Yeah. Grief is a touchy subject for me too. Like I said, I've lost a lot of people in my addiction. And even if they're not dead, they're too far gone in their addiction that I can't go around them right now. And one day I hope we can reunite, And, I lost my parents and my wives in my addiction. And, but like you were saying, Christmas is, I don't know, but Crystal, Christmas was just another day, really a day for me. I celebrated it for the kids, but when I was in my addiction, Christmas was every day. If I was high, I was happy, and I was giving to my kids, my wife, and everything. And now, being sober, I really get to enjoy my kids and my wife, and really, truly get to enjoy God being in my house at Christmas,
Yes.
And, I never had that. I never had that growing up. I never had that. This is the first year I can say that I'm really going to have a happy Christmas with my kids being there and my wife and me being sober. And it's just not being sober. It's having that mindset of, man, we can do this without being on nothing, And don't get me wrong, the devil's gonna put it in your head every day, man. You could get high and do this better, So I urge you, man, please find a sponsor. Please find a group, even if it ain't our group. There's groups out here. There's hotlines out here. I know this is a rough time for anybody,
And it doesn't have to be a drug addiction. It could be another kind of addiction that you need help with.
That's
and,
right.
There's all kinds of places that you can go to get help. All you have to do is reach out. And reaching out to people isn't that hard. You just got to know where to go.
Yeah, because, sometimes you take your drug addiction and you fill it with something else, and it becomes addiction. Let's be honest, like sex, food, and gambling, or just anything else, and you try to fill that void. Really, you can't never feel what the heart wants, I'm a drug addict. I'll be honest. That's what my choice was. I can't switch it to alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic. Even if I go drink alcohol, that's not doing what I really, really, truly want. It's just reminding me of what I really want. So I try not to put my head in the gutter, because we've been in them trenches all our lives, man, and it's time to walk on the road and of recovery, and I love waking up. I love being sober because it gives me purpose of doing this and going out there and trying my best to help people, because that's all I'm here for now, is I'm trying to help people. And I'm trying, what hit me the hardest is I don't want to die tomorrow and my kids say my daddy's a piece of junk, dope head. I want to die tomorrow. If I died right now, I want my kids to remember me as this man tried. He took all his mistakes and he turned them into gold. And that's why I'm here today. Because I'm trying to make up for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups I've done. And I'm trying to make them into better,
My oldest boy told me, I asked him what he wanted for Crystal. He says, Mom, for Christmas, he says, Mama, you're alive. That's all I need. Because I could have been dead.
Oh, yeah.
Or I was walking dead for a long time. But when he said that, it brought a tear to my eye. And, crying's not bad. It's a really good thing because you let all the hurt out for joy to come in.
Yeah. I love that now. We cry for happiness, not sadness.
Yes.
And, most time I cry for other people's pain.
Right.
When they can't. Especially the weak ones, And that was me. And there's a lot of tears probably shed for me.
Right.
And I'm so glad they was.
There's a lot of prayers, a lot of tears. And, it comes with, where we've been and where we're going. If it wasn't for our grandparents or our great-grandparents praying for us, now I pray for my grandkids and my grandkids, my great-great-grandkids, because I don't know them, but I want to pray for them where they know that they had a praying grandmother.
Yeah. Well, we're about out of time, and I just wish y'all to please try to find recovery in one way or another, And like I said, we're here. What's the address?
5525 Highway 178, Fulton, Mississippi, 38843.
And we're here at 6. We're here at 6, 8 o'clock, 6 to 8 on Fridays.
Unchained Recovery.
Unchained Recovery. And if you don't care, you pray us out.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We thank you for everybody that's watching. And we thank you for the place that we have this to do. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. I don't know what to say.
Thank y'all. This is Breaking Chains. We'll see you next time. Love y'all.
God bless.